My name is Namaan Jewett Potts. I was born in 1921 in Yawnish, Oklahoma, July the 24th, 1921. I'm 95 years old. Yes, I was in the Army, World War II. I was drafted. Back then they had to register. They had a lady going through the valley registering. And when your number come around, it makes no difference what you had or how many family members you had. You went to the Army. When they called your number, you answered. I went in 1943, I think it was March. Took my basic training in Camp Hood, Texas.
And how did you feel, Dad, whenever they told you you had to go?
Well, you don't feel good.
Okay.
You feel like you've been had. Because you don't have the freedom in the Army that you have out in civilian life. Because you got commanders and things over you to tell you what to do and how to do, and you better do it because you'd be punished.
How did Mom feel whenever you
Well,
left?
there wasn't nothing she could do about it.
Okay.
She didn't have no say. When you're drafted in, your say's over with. Like you, if they draft you, your say's over with. You're under command of the Army now. You do what they say do, not what you're supposed to do at home.
And Mom came and seen you before you went overseas, right?
Yeah.
At Fort Hood.
She come down to Colleen, Texas. They sent her a letter and the money to get her a ticket to come to Colleen, Texas to come see me. And I had, well, that picture's over
Yes,
there.
we have a picture of him and Mom in his uniform.
And I had one little boy then. She brought that baby with her. And it was a lady, was in the Army, took care of her, seen that she had a place to sleep, something to eat, and took care of her. She never left my wife and that baby anywhere. She was with them. They come down, they arrived on Friday, and they give us all a pass because we're going to ship out on Sunday going to Fort Ord, California. Then when we were at Fort Ord, they sent us up to Vancouver Barracks, Washington, and then back down to Seattle, back to Portland, Oregon, put us on a ship. Then it was all over with. It was not coming back anyway soon, or maybe not coming back. It's sad. It's not easy when you think about it. It's not easy to me right now. It's not easy to me at any time because I think about it a lot. What you have to go through with for the peace of the American people. I was on Saipan, I was on Okinawa.
Okay. Those were the two major battles?
Mm-hmm.
Okinawa was the worstest battle fought in the war in the Pacific. There was more people killed on that one island. It takes lots of men, takes a lot of equipment, takes a lot of everything to win them battles. And you can make a mistake and it'll cost you. You make the wrong mistake and you're going to find out you won't be living. It's sad. A lot of people don't know what it's all about, but I do because I've been there. I was in the infantry. I was in the ground troops. I was where they played for keeps. In the Army that I was in, the 10th, now listen to me real close.
Okay.
The divisions that we were with was not in the Army till they detached us to that Army. If they wanted to detach us to another Army, they had the right to change us over.
Okay.
And when we took Saipan, we was in a different, we was in a, it's on that paper. But anyhow, when we took Okinawa, we was attached to the 10th Army, was commanded by Buckner, 3-star general, and he was killed on Okinawa June 18th, 1945. You can see how many thousand. Lady, you'll be surprised what a battle will cost. If you look, it'll tell you how many the ships were sunk. I'm talking about the United States. The ships were sunk. The planes were shot out of the air. How many people they killed? It was 554,000 men in the 10th Army. The ground troops had 183,000 on the ground troops. Now that's infantry. They was on the ground all the time. They didn't know where any else to go. They stayed on the ground all the time. Now I was in the machine gun section. That picture, he was my assistant machine chuck. He assisted me in that gun. You didn't take a mile a day. You didn't take a half mile a day. You might take 50 steps or something a day. You'd be surprised how many was killed on the ground troops on that one island. Was 12,520 troops, ground troops killed there. 53,000 and something was wounded. And it'll tell you, she's got it in there, it'll tell you how many ships were sunk that belonged to us, how many airplanes were shot out of the air. I'm talking about that one place, Okinawa. It's all in there.
Mm-hmm.
And General Wyman Buckley was the general of the 10th Army. And he is the one that got killed on Okinawa. And after he was killed, they took his body back to his home in Kentucky, buried him. Then they gave him another star. He was a 4-star general after he died. You'd be surprised how much money and equipment and men it takes to win a battle. You talk about millions of dollars of equipment sunk, shot out of the air and everything else. Lots of it. It took 3 months and 3 days to take Saipan. And it was, I don't know. The Japanese was killed was 110,000. It's more in this than it is, I can tell you. It tell you what done. The 4th Sister Division was the 7th, 27th, 77th, and 96th. There was a 4th Sister Division in the Army Infantry. The 1st, the 2nd, and the 6th Marine Division was with us. Now you talk about lots of men, they run into thousands. It takes all that to win a war, because you're going to lose a lot of it. It hurts. It's sad to see somebody that you can't help asking for help. You can't help them. It's sad. People don't realize what your freedom is. A lot of people now, like what's going on now, we're losing a lot of young ladies, a lot of young men. A lot of people could care less about them people trying to have fighting and losing their lives for your freedom, his freedom, and mine, or everybody else. They don't appreciate them. They could care less for the safest men and women. There's a lot of women was in that service. A lot of them. A lot of them was nurses, a lot of them was doctors, a lot of them was paramedics. They worked the front lines where they were being killed and wounded. They worked the front lines and they lost their lives just like the rest of them. A lot of women was killed right on the front lines, and they wasn't supposed to because they was allowed to wear white. But the enemy didn't care for that white; they'd kill them just the same. They wasn't supposed to, because they were paramedics and nurses and doctors, but they didn't kill them. They could care less. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's heartbreaking. It bothers me a lot to think about the boys nowadays and the young ladies. I'm talking about like in Afghanistan and Iraq and all that. The younger bunch, a lot of people care less for them. It's not ought to be that way. They're fighting and losing their lives for your life, your freedom, his freedom, my freedom, the American people's freedom, but they don't appreciate it. Now I'm honest about it. There's lots of people does not appreciate their freedom that they're dying for. That's sad. I love every one of them, and I'll love them till I die because I was with them. I know what went on.